Eden Utilities can help your organisation to convert the energy it uses every day into a more sustainable source of supply. We are a professional, totally independent but friendly utility consultancy that can offer any organisation a way of converting its own waste into energy. This provides a number of beneficial rewards. So, if you already recycle items like plastics and paper, you could now use the rest of the waste your business creates to generate power for use back into your organisation. If you don't do any recycling yet, you could start now, without the need for any additional effort or large investment in time or cash to accommodate the initiative. Our Eden Infinity product provides your business with a way of not only helping the planet, but also saving you money. Your business creates waste. That waste is collected, and then we work with your energy supplier to ensure that the power generated from your waste is used to supply electricity back to you. In doing something like this, along with doing your bit to help save the planet and meeting your business's green targets, it provides great PR for your organisation, sending a very positive message to your suppliers, clients and stakeholders. It's something to be very proud of. At Eden Utilities, we pride ourselves on being unique with our continuous innovation, along with our ethos of providing a fully transparent pricing model to all our clients. Our personable approach means we always work with you to find the best for you. We regard ourselves as an extension of your business, a partner. Eden Utilities, your sustainability partner.
We're back here at home, doing things that have never been seen.
It's Talk of the Town.
Episode 13. Yes, hello and welcome to episode 13 of Talk of the Town. Hopefully you liked our B-Tech Canton deck there. Not bad. I am joined this week by a co-presenter, Talk Sports, Harry Maynard. Harry?
I'm Talk of the Town's Harry Maynard. I think it should be now.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, yeah, there's levels, isn't there? Harry's going to join me throughout the show, interviewing our guests. So yeah, great to have you.
Cheers, thanks for having me. I mean, it's great to be involved and get me to see the games. I like
any excuse.
I said to you earlier, I have to sell my soul to YouTube just to be able to watch Crawley play now. But
yeah, listen, I've been doing it all season. Obviously, coming up on the show, we'll have the usual guests. We'll have John Yems and Erdem Konya will be coming by. We have got Tom Cameron caught up with Taryn Alarakia for an interview. We'll be catching up with Gary Smith, and we'll also have a very special edition of Mastermind featuring our very own Erdem Konya. Sam Jordan is here. He'll be doing the Reds rollover live on the show. And also we will be having, as always, the higher or lower, which Harry will be presenting.
Yeah, I've got a few crackers for you.
I'll be taking part. It'll be me versus Sam in the higher or lower. Of course, after the show, you can watch the game on iFollow.
In your heart, in spirit, in soul, you make every tackle, score every goal. You're part of it, wherever you are in the world. From the first minute until the last kick. Victories, heartbreaks, you're part of the fabric, the passion, devotion, supercharging emotion. For you there is only one, abiding loyalty, togetherness that is second to none. Follow every kick, every tackle, every goal. With access to live stream games and matchday commentary, with coverage spanning the globe. Behind the scene content, newsletters and match highlights. There is no better way for you to get closer to your club. And with iFollow sales supporting them, there's no better way to show your love. When you can't be there with iFollow.
Don't forget, whilst you do watch the game at home, you can get yourself a Ballers here. £5 offer is on once again, just £5 for a burger, chips and a can of drink from Ballers. That is collection only, so if you can get yourself down to the People's Pension Stadium before kick-off, do that and grab yourselves that bargain. If you can't get down here, of course, you can go on Uber Eats or Just Eat to get a Ballers and enjoy, support the club, whilst you are also supporting the club on the pitch at home. Last week, obviously, the Reds made a long journey to Harrogate, and let's have a look how they got on up in North Yorkshire.
Inside in their traditional colours here. Straight away, Crawley on the attack. An early chance and a flying save there from Belshaw. Max Waters. A lively start here at the Envirovent Stadium. There's a quick ball from back to front. Not sure if that was the pass intended, but to it straight away was Waters, their top scorer with 5 goals this season. Burrell. Switch things out here. Here's Muldoon, it's a fine ball. The captain hasn't gone very far. Thompson back in, Faulkner across. They can't quite squeeze it in. The goalkeeper there, Stuart Nelson, did very well. Still a chance with Tom Walker. Was he fouled? No, says the referee, Martin Coy. This time a free kick against Walker. This was the chance. Faulkner with a ball across goal. Needed there. In the end by Hall. Nicely turned forward by Waters. And across there is Nichols. Harrogate not dealing with this. Davis. Ball into the end, the header across goal run towards it. Harrogate all over the place here defensively. Back it comes again, and it's in. The home side, the architects of their own downfall there, as it's turned in by Max Waters. 8 in 9 now for him in all competitions. A man very much in form. Great ball in. Header initially wasn't the best, but Harrogate and Borough in particular didn't go to clear it away. Back in and across by Nichols. And Waters was there for his 6th of the league season. High boot, but play continues. Crawley looking for a second. It could be in as well. Good push away by Belshaw. Nichols. Keep on working it here. Harrogate get it away, but their goal is under siege right now. Faulkner did his best to get back there. Belshaw going long. Lost their last 2 in the league, as many defeats as in their opening 9 of the season. Here's Waters, who's got the only goal so far. Another opportunity. Can he find the room for the strike? He can! He's just about off the line there. Waters again. Opportunity gone, but Crawley very close there to a second goal. Just about clean through at this point before his touch took him wide.
The referee has indicated that a minimum of
time with
3
Crawley
minutes
still a
will
goal
be
to the
added
good.
at the end of this half.
Rakia. Easy, twisty, turny run. Back onto Hessenthaler. Doherty. It's a nice return ball. They're going to get this one in here. Disappointing delivery. Nearly entered a chance. It still might. Powell pushed away by the goalkeeper. The rebound. Waters was there. Turned behind by Burrell. These positions so many times in behind the Harrogate back line. Powell's effort there, skimming along the wet surface. Belshaw did enough before Burrell turned it behind. Doon gets that one back. It was towards Thompson. In it comes. Keeper there, unconvincing. Not gone anywhere. One throw on the way here from Dan Jones, the substitute. In it goes. That wasn't far away. Harrogate coming closer and closer. Jones winding up for the long one. Wide in the end from Martin. Here comes Jones again. A mammoth throw into the box, and it's not in this time, and Muldoon has got it. Still 5 minutes to go, and their top scorer comes up trumps again. 7 for the season. What a throw that was. It caused all manner of problems. The goalkeeper
I'm joined now by Erdem Konya. Before we have a chat with Erdem, let's just give you today's lineup. Glenn Morris is back in goal. We've got Davis, Craig, McNerney and Doherty. Jack Powell, Jake Hessenthaler, Taryn Alarakia, Jake Hesketh, Ashley Nadesan and Tom Nichols. So on the bench we've got Nelson, Dallison, Cisse, Frost, Ashford, Waters and Brian Gallack. Erdem, thank you very much for joining us once again.
Thank you for having me.
As always.
Good man.
We've had a week off without any competitive games, but obviously we had the fixture in the week against Reading, which was a friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Good opportunity for sort of rest some bodies this week, do you think?
Yeah, rest bodies and also have a look at how the youngers are getting on, keep their development, try and get the match fitness. We've had a look at a few players as well that we've had on trial, so there's good few prospects there as well. So we're looking at the January business as well this week a little bit. But yes, you're right. We're good to rest the boys because we've got a tough fixture list coming.
Yeah, I was just about to say, it seems like the recruitment has been continuing like the whole time. The recruitment hasn't stopped, has it, this year? Where often you get to the end of August and then it's like, right, this is our side till January, it seems. But it seems to be like there's players around for the friendlies, trialists. It seems like the recruitment is just continuing all the way through.
I mean, it should always continue, the recruitment, but that's also the signs of a unified approach. I think the gaffer's always thinking ahead. Which is always good, because we're always thinking, what can we do, what can we improve, who needs to go out to get minutes, and that's just a sign of a united club on and off the pitch to try and progress the club and try and carry on and build on a good start that we've got.
I wanted to just ask you, Adam, whilst we've got you here, it looks set that the EFL is going to finally get some money from the gods of above. Looks set to be about £50 million spread across the clubs. How important is that the League 1 and 2 clubs in particular can finally get access to some money whilst we're in the situation we're in?
Well, I mean, it's invaluable, it's indispensable for the club, because we've taken a massive hit. I mean, you know, we talked about this last week. It's around, at most, probably around 750 grand. But at the same time, you've got to remember that we lost a lot of potential revenue that we could have got as well. I think the transfer market's taken a massive dip, so we could have got much more money for Bezla Bala in a normal market, possibly for Panuch. We could have got more. So hopefully, that, you know, we need it. It's just like a magic potion for us to survive at the moment. But once again, underlining, we have to thank the chairman for carrying on backing us. And also, like, on and off the pitch, everyone's worked really hard to try and bring the costs down. And this player's budget is the least we've had in 5 years. So that, you know, everyone's worked hard to bring in the right calibre. And also, like, the gaffer hasn't been like, he wants this. He's worked hard as well to try and bring low costs. So
yeah, and then how pleasing is it that you can afford to cut the squad budget down, and then yet you look at how we're doing this season, you look at where we are on the table, it shows almost there's no correlation sometimes between spending loads of money and where you're actually going to finish.
Yeah, we know that with the example of Notts County. You know, they went down with a 3.5 million budget, and I think Accrington went up on a 1.1. So that's true, and we learned that it's not just about money. We made a lot. I mean, I say this a lot because we made a lot of mistakes before. You know, I think we overpaid for a few players, got it wrong. Very high contracts on a few of them, and that's something I think we've learned from. And then also, once again, working together with the gaffer, he helps you. Like, this is someone who's been in the game for 30 years, and I'm not just saying it because he's in the room, but I'm saying it because I've been in football for 12 years, but I'm at the same time I'm actively learning from everyone, but actively learning from someone who's been in the game for 30 years and he's taken Bournemouth to the Prem, been a part of that armada that brought so many great talents like Matt Ritchie and Callum Wilson. For me, it's great. It's like a constant education because you're learning, and I love that. I love spotting the player. So it's about it's a good unity. And I learned how important camaraderie is this year. You know, that's been a massive tick for me because I never knew how important. Everyone's smiling. You know, you talk to the players, they're like, yeah, I can't wait to go training. You know, so it's been a fantastic learning curve. I mean, I can't reiterate how important it's been, really.
And going back to, sort of flicking back to what Harry's first question about getting the fans not being here, that sort of thing. There's been a lot of talk getting fans back in the ground recently. I spoke to somebody on the phone the other day because you must know something. And I'm going, I genuinely don't.
To chip into that quickly to get almost Erdon's reaction, we were joined by Oliver Dowden at work this week, and he said there's a small chance that we could see fans back in stadiums in some capacity this side of Christmas and the New Year. Whether that means down at League 2 level or maybe in Premier League surroundings where they can afford to put things in place. But it's positive signs that we might not go a whole season behind closed doors.
Well, I mean, look, I'm hopeful, but it's not something that I'll only believe it when I see it, because you know, since the beginning we said they're coming back in November. We was going to have a pilot game that got stopped. You know, I'm looking at the BBC News every day. You've got 500 people dying. You know, at the moment, so that mortality rate is quite high compared to the beginning of this. So first and foremost, let's get through this pandemic. Hopefully, get a good vaccine. You know, everyone's fine, and then there isn't so much infection around, and hopefully everyone's fit and healthy. We need our fans. It's lonely up there, you know. And we go away, you get the soldiers that come with you. They miss the Oldham one, so still these away fans haven't seen us win away. So we owe another win for them, hopefully, when they come back, because they know they travel home and away. It takes a lot of courage to do that. You know, we're just talking about that, and it's big courage and big loyalty. So hopefully we need them back, and we must thank them once again for all their support.
Of course, yeah. You know, I mean the Red Wall was a fine example of that. Yeah. Like every time we put a post out, we think, it's almost done, and then I'll come back and there'll be like another 15 orders on my desk. People continually backing us, which is great.
can't thank them enough, really.
Yeah, no, fantastic. Erdem, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Coming up after this break, we will have the gaffer, John Yemsey's here, poised to answer our questions. He will be joining us. So let's hear it from the People's Pension before that.
Since 2017, £30 million has been lost to pension scammers. That's about 26,000 Premier League season tickets. During these uncertain times, it's more important than ever to defend your hard-earned money. Be on the ball to anyone contacting you out of the blue. Find out more about pension scams and how to avoid them by visiting our website.
Yeah, joined now by the manager, John. Thank you very much for joining us once again. What do you think of the new set?
Oh yeah, it looks very good.
that was the answer of someone who go, just ask the question.
When did you get finished?
It's a good shout. Firstly, last week got a point away at Harrogate, and I think a lot of people had the opinion that before the game a point would have been a good point, but obviously how the game went, almost disappointed to drop 2. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, we don't drop 2 because you never had them to drop. If you win your own games and draw your away ones, you won't be far from it, but seeing how close we was to winning, it is disappointing, but it shows you the standards that everybody's, if you go up to there and you're disappointed you don't win, must be doing something, mustn't we? And
probably something that at the end of the season you'll look at it and go, good point, but after the season ends you'll think it'd be a good point.
Well, let's hope we're looking at it like that, Joe. Not we don't look at it and go, I wish we would have got the other 2.
Yeah, that's true.
I think it's good because I think watching that from my perspective, I think that might have been a game we might have lost a couple of seasons ago. So I think, does that, as much as it can sometimes pain you to say we should be going there and getting 3 points, you take a step back and go, actually, look, our home form is so good that if you can win at home and get a point away, then you're going to be in a good position.
Yeah, that's what I just said. If you do that, but you've still got to win your own games. It's not your God-given right to come here and win. You've got to still battle and do all the things that you're doing up there. But I think it's the disappointments like the Exeter game. You're so close and yet so far. But football's all about fine margins and, not getting the old cliche ones, but it is.
Yeah,
if you do, if you don't, you just got to go on to the next one. It's our job to pick them up, and the lads, it's good that they was disappointed with a draw at the end.
Yeah. Something I wanted to ask, I said to Joe, I might ask this, is that 5 subs has been brought in. Does that favour every team, or does that maybe favour the teams that have got the budget to
My
to put
honest
together a bigger
opinion,
squad?
I think it's a complete lot of old cobblers. Because if you've got a big squad and you've got a squad full of players that you can chop about with, and we haven't. People keep telling me what a big squad we got. We haven't. Mm-hmm. We haven't got an under-23s. We haven't got a reserve side. So every player that's signed his football club trains as a first team. End of. So if you've got a cheat 5 subs, do you need 5 subs? Mm-hmm. We won the World Cup with no subs.
On the flip side, even though it may be a thing that favours bigger teams with more money, for the players that are more on the fringe of the squad, does that give them a boost personally, that they've got a better chance to get minutes?
Well, to me, I couldn't really quote a phrase, give a monkey, because if they're good enough, they'd be in the team anyway, wouldn't they? So is it set up to please players, or is it set up to make the team better or the club better? Because the other side of that is you might have to pay more bonuses to people. Yeah. You might have to pay more appearance money to people. You might have to pay some of the silly contracts that people are on now. Some people now, I've heard, they get bonuses, for putting their boots on. You might get a bonus for taking a throw on, or, where's it stop?
Yeah.
So you're out there to play football. Your job is to win a game of football by hook or by crook, and that's what you have to do.
So I suppose you've got 5 subs, but you're only going to use them if it's actually going to impact positively on what's going on the pitch.
Well, once again, you've only got to look at what happened at Torquay. We only signed the goalkeeper 10:30 in that morning because Danny Bournemouth was down to be the reserve goalkeeper. Believe it or not. Not thinking you're ever going to need him, but straight away we did, and the rest is history, so to speak. But listen, it is what it is. I'm fed up with people keep telling me how the game's getting quicker and better, and to me it isn't. I think let's get back to reality. It's 11 players out on a pitch, and nobody wants to be taken off unless you're injured. If you wanted to be taken off, what are you doing on a pitch in the first place? But that's the good thing that's kept us going this year. It's everybody. If they work hard and do what we're doing, which they have done, they're all playing for the shirt. And I keep saying it, but every time we send a team out, me and Lee, they're going to have a go for you. Are they going to be good enough on the day? We hope so, but they won't give in. If they do, then they'll be off. You're going to have 11 subs.
And looking at There was a lot of talk about the game in midweek against the friendly against Reading, mostly about the fact that Mark Wright played. But I want to concentrate on actually the game and the players we've got registered in the squad. One of the people who played that game and probably impressed was Jake Hesketh. I know we spoke about it earlier in the week. Is sort of his performance in that game, is that part of the reason why he's in the side today?
No, yeah, but see, Jake has come from a Premier League side, and when you look at why is he in a Premier League side, that's why he is, because he's come down to Three Bridges on a Tuesday afternoon to play Reading with a load of players that are getting their fitness, getting their this, that, and the other, and he's 150%. His efforts there and that's the example you've got to lead, and that's a credit to Joe. To Jake.
I'm not going to take any credit for it.
That's the only thing you don't take credit for. It's a credit to Jake that he applies himself, but that's the minimum. Everybody. Listen, you don't need to be skillful to run around and be fit. That's just a gimme. And if you're not them two, you can't do the other stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, finally, I was just going to ask, because I know it's something that on paper fans might flag up, is to see Max on the bench this afternoon. But from your perspective, obviously, you've got an awful lot of games, and we've got some firepower going forward, so it's no guarantee that he can walk into the team.
It's no guarantee anyone can walk into the team. He still hasn't played 90 minutes yet, and he's still getting it in his legs. And 3 months ago, he was playing non-league. He hadn't done 2 games. He hadn't done a Tuesday and a Saturday ever. So you've got to monitor it, and you go, okay, the kid's just, he scored a lot of goals. You forget that Tom Nichols, as he keeps reminding everyone, has assisted him left, right, and centre. He's in a good side. And the good thing about Max, he's scored different goals. Yeah. Because he went in the other week where a lot of people wouldn't go in the modern game because it would be too rough for him. But he's gone in, got a whack. He couldn't care less as long as he's got the ball in the back of the net. Well, you can't coach that. You can take all the credit and do what you want. All you've got to do is make sure that everybody is happy within the side and everybody knows the formula of what we're trying to do. Trying to do is simple. You put that shirt on and you try for 90, 100, 120 minutes at Torquay, 130 minutes at Torquay, 3 days at Torquay, and you don't give up until you win. Or you try your best.
And I think we've seen that all season. John, thank you very much for joining us.
John.
Good luck this afternoon.
Thank you very much.
One of the players who does start today is Taryn Alarakia. Tom Cameron went down to the training ground this week to catch up with Taryn.
Hi everyone, I hope you're enjoying the show so far. We're lucky enough to be joined by Taryn Alarakia today. Taryn, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good.
We're going to be asking Taryn a load of your questions that we put out on social media as well as evaluating the season so far. So let's get into it. So Taryn, a good season so far, good group of lads. How have you been finding it?
No, it's very good. This year's been it's been a different season because obviously the manager now he's got his team and like the pre-season, he's got his pre-season, so it's been a challenging pre-season, but I think the lads have been doing well. I think we're all gelling together now, and obviously you can see by the way we're playing football and the results as well. I think we've been unlucky in some results, but last few years ago when we were struggling, we would have folded, but this year now we've got a strong core, so no, it's exciting things coming up.
We've had some tough away trips, but we've picked up some good points, and that home form's continuing. What's the secret to the home form?
I have no idea. I have no idea. We haven't lost in a year now, is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's just a mental thing away from home. But again, we've improving. I think Harrogate we should have got a win. So we are improving, but as long as we keep the home form up, then we'll still win there. But away form, it will change. It will definitely change.
We know the team as a whole is really coming on this season, but what do you think's developed in your own personal performance this year?
I think the gaffer's giving me more confidence. I think the new lads, everyone's giving me more confidence. So when you go out there and play, they just fill you with all this confidence, and you go out and express yourself. They say express yourself, Taryn, go and do what you need to do, and I feel like I'm doing it. Obviously I still got more to give. I think everyone does, but that's the good thing about this squad. It's such a strong squad that everyone's keeping each other on their toes. So no, it's very exciting, like I said there.
As you say, it's a large squad. There's even, we were discussing earlier, there's a few faces out there that try this that we haven't even seen before. So it must keep you hungry and trying to keep that place in the side.
No, it's good. It is good because at the end of the day, everyone wants the same. Most boys want the same dream as you. So it keeps you level-headed, humble, and it makes you work hard even more every day.
So we'll try and we'll head on to the Twitter questions now, the Instagram questions. A few funny ones in there.
Oh no.
But,
no.
We'll start fairly normal. I think we've got some fans of former clubs of yours. Someone says, what was your best memory whilst playing for Aveley?
Oh yeah, Aveley. I think maybe making my debut. I think I was 15, 16. Made my debut at a non-league team, and that was very different because of men's football, and I was still, let's say, teenager. Like I was still a baby, and coming through there was that was probably my highlight. I think making my debut.
And I suppose it links well with another question we've got. Is what was the transition like? Obviously, you've been here a while now, but what was the transition like initially joining the professional game from non-league?
It was probably just getting used to, because obviously I went to Colchester before, so I had a little bit of thing before I come to Crawley.
Yeah.
But before I went to Colchester, I was playing like a few non-league, and it was tough, as in like the body wise. It took me quite a long time to get used to. But once you get used to it, it was fine. Like you demand more from yourself, and others demand more of you because standards. But I feel like gradually you get used to it, and like you get better and better.
Another question we've got is, how do you kind of train day by day? What exercises do you do, and what's in your diet as a professional athlete?
Diet is tough. Diet is probably the toughest one, because there's so many things, like you want to eat all these sweets now, but you can't do it. You have to keep that. Or you can have a cheat day, but when I go, say like on an off day, I'll go to the gym. If I haven't played, I'll do legs, a few uppers, and then do a lot of core. But other than that, we do a lot of work at training, so when you get home I'm always tired, I always have a nap. Always have a nap. I'm a sleepy person.
We've got some quite simple questions here. Why are you so good?
Who said that? Oh well, I wouldn't say I'm so good, I've still got a lot to improve on. But thank you whoever said that to me, thank you very much. But no, I've still got a lot to improve on.
Who's your footballing idol? Who did you grow up really, really aspiring to be like?
Ronaldinho was my hero, just because he's skillful, just the way he plays. Like, I love him. But as a professional idol, Cristiano Ronaldo. Okay. I think he's just phenomenal as a person, as a player. Like, what he does is unbelievable. He's probably but as a footballing, Ronaldinho.
Okay. Someone says, what motivates you and inspires you just to do your best every day at the training grounds?
Probably just in a motivation, in a belief. Like I wanna progress. I wanna do really well for myself. So the best way to do it sometimes is you have to think to yourself, like this is what you want to do, how you can improve in this. But also like my family as well. My family always support me, friends. But yeah, that's it. That's all of them.
What career aspirations have you got? How high are you setting the goal?
I think everyone wants to play in the Premier League. Yeah. Let's just say that. But I would go. That's my aim. That's where everyone's aim. But I would push myself wherever I can get to. I still believe I could play higher, and hopefully Crawley's given me a chance to show myself what I could do. So I'm very grateful for everyone, what they've done for me here, and I'm still grateful. But of course, everyone wants to play in the Premier League, so ideally Premier League.
Brilliant. Okay, we'll look ahead to tomorrow's game now. Yep. Carlisle United. How are you feeling? How's it going into that one?
Everyone's confident. Like we've gone 3 games unbeaten so far. Yeah. So everyone's confident. They're on a good run as well, Carlisle. So it'll be still a tough game. But no, the lads are confident. Like we're all confident bunch. I think we all believe in what the gaffer's giving us to do. So every game we go in has confidence, but we also make sure that we give 110%. Because every game this year is going to be very hard.
I suppose a question of mine is, how's it changed kind of going into a Saturday game with no fans there?
It is horrible. It is definitely horrible. It's a different environment when no fans are there, but you have to create your own atmosphere, like the gaffer says. So yeah, we just create our own atmosphere. But I think when you play, you're so focused on the game, like you don't miss. I do miss it, of course, but like it's more of a, because you're so concentrated on the game, you don't hear it as much. Yeah. But we do definitely miss the fans, especially when we score goals. Like the way, and to be fair, the fans have been the big part of why our home form has been so good. So we do miss the fans definitely being at home. So yeah.
and we'll look back to that game at Torquay. You know, it was absolutely unbelievable. You came on, made a real impact, and now we'll just be looking at who we're having in the second round. It'll be Barrow or AFC Wimbledon. It could be a close trip, could be a long trip. How does that affect you?
Well, we're all hoping it's at Wimbledon because I live around the corner. But listen, whatever one we come, we just take it how it is. We feel like again we can go far. So yeah, whatever we get really, we don't mind. We're up for any challenge.
And finally, the season ahead tee. Obviously, we sit 9th in the table. The gaffer's stressed, you know, the main ambition is just to stay in the league this season. Such a crazy year, but do you feel maybe we can push for playoffs this year?
I think we've got a very strong team. I think this year, and I feel like we can. But if to do that, we have to sort our away form. Sorry, but like I said, the away form it's improving. As in, we're playing very well. It's just we just need to hold on to that lead. But I think we can push on. But again, we just take one game at a time. Like we're not looking for that yet. Like we got to look for Carlisle, make sure we beat Carlisle, and then Grimsby after that, and then on. So.
T, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you very much, sir.
Back to you in the studio, Joe. Hope you enjoyed.
We're joined now by BBC Radio Sussex commentator and I follow extraordinaire Gary, a master statistician, higher or lower God. There's so many titles for you, Gary. Yeah, some intro that. Thanks for joining us anyway. Interesting couple of weeks for Crawley, really. Culminating in a 1-1 draw at Harrogate last week. John here earlier on, we were saying hard to know what to make of it because disappointing to only get a point after the game, but equally before it, good point. What do you make of it?
Yeah, no, I think you hit the nail on the head, Joe. To be honest, I think before the game, if you said they're going to get a point, a hard-earned point, then you would take it because I don't think too many teams will go to Harrogate and get too much this season. I think Harrogate will be one of those sides that are perfectly fine in League Two. They'll survive, having come up from the National League. They'll be perfectly okay. I think the disappointing thing was having held on to the lead for so long, having gone in front, just before the break, as it were, and held on for so long. I think disappointing, A, to concede so late on in the game, and secondly, to concede a goal, as we did at Cheltenham, from a long throw into the box. John always talks after the game, or talks a lot, about stopping crosses coming into the box. I know you can't do anything to defend a throw apart from set yourselves up properly defensively, and I think that was the gutting thing. You sort of knew what was coming when they made the substitution. You knew the guy had the long throw in his armoury, and you knew what was coming, and it's just a case of defending it. I thought Crawley sat a little bit too deep in the second half. Harrogate were always going to come out and try and have a go, being the home side and trying to get something from the game because they were behind. And I think Crawley just sat themselves a little bit too deep. But then saying that, there were glimpses where Crawley could have made it 2-0, and even after it becoming 1-1, there were a couple of opportunities where it could have gone in and been 2-1. But I think, in the cold light of day of the Sunday, you'd take a point away at Harrogate. Tough place to go. They're very direct in the way that they play. They have a style that they play to. They adapt to it very well. It's a decent point, I think, on the road.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking back at home today, playing a Carlisle side, I thought Carlisle would struggle this year. They were a team I thought they would be down the bottom. They've had a good start. They're just above us in the league in the playoff position. Yeah. And what are you expecting from them today?
Much like you, Joe, I thought they would be one of those sides. We talked before, didn't we, about Morecambe started well. You were sort of expecting them to be down the bottom, as it were. Tranmere hadn't started very well. You're expecting them to be somewhere around the top. Carlisle, I think, have maybe taken a few people by surprise. And I think, much like Crawley, their home form is what's kept them sort of in and around the playoffs. They've only got one victory on the road so far this season. They don't travel overly well, much like Crawley, really. Whereas Crawley here have got a 12 months. If they avoid defeat here today, it will be 12 months, on Monday, since they were beaten here by Exeter in the league last season. So I think confidence being back at home has got to be sky high for Crawley, knowing that they've got a wonderful record. But, take nothing for granted. Carlisle are going to be tough. I think it was John's first home game when he took over last December. I think they came here and
they battered us. I think, and it was like an onslaught. So I was reading something this week. I had like 30 shots or something like that. So I don't expect it to be the same today. No. But what I was going to just quickly ask is, we should find ourselves in the playoffs with a win.
But we will do, because Colchester already played.
Oh, Colchester, there you go. So we would be in the playoffs with a win. Yeah. We've kind of lingered in, I think, at one point we were top of the league, in play sort of thing. But from your perspective, you see so much of Crawley. How nice would it be to be in the playoffs come 3:30 today with still another home game to play?
I think it'll be fantastic. I mean, you've got to be in it to win it, haven't you? And, it's all still very early days and there's a lot of up and downs. But I think to be within that top 7 is a fantastic place for Crawley to be, given that we know the away form isn't that wonderful. Do you know what I mean? Only 5 points on the road so far this season with a win and 2 draws. if they could turn their away form around, we'd be absolutely breezing League Two this season, wouldn't we? Given that the form here. But I think yes, it would be wonderful if you're there in the playoffs. You're there to be shot at. Obviously, we would leapfrog Carlisle with 3 points today. So another home game to back up today's home game before you start thinking about trying to get something on the road again. And I think just to be in there with the wonderful home form that we've got, and as I say, the away form not being great, will be a great testament to John and the way that the players are playing.
And I think you're right what you said, Aaron. And a number of years sort of previously, we've had a good spell in the season. So I know under the Harry Kewell season, it was sort of around Christmas, when it Christmas, January.
We plateau at February.
With Gabby, we started the season well and then fell away, and it sort of seems to be, we always have a stage in the season which keeps us comfortably away from the relegation zone, but is never quite enough to get us in.
And we've never had a playoff match.
No,
in however many years we've been in the Football League now, we have never seen Crawley in the playoffs. So, yes, I'm probably getting ahead of myself, but I feel sometimes you've got to get ahead of yourself when you're in these kind of positions. Might not be the best of things to be in the playoffs behind closed doors, but if we can maintain that run over Christmas and not plateau at February.
But it seems to me, sorry, Gabe, it seems to me now, when we're having a setback such as Exeter or we went to Walsall, we have that setback, we seem to be able to pick ourselves up and bounce back quite quickly this season. We're not really going on a run of defeats or run of poor results. We seem to be sort of, our heads aren't dropping, and that could be, hopefully we sort of got rid of that previous seasons where we're sort of up here or down here and just can sort of keep momentum.
I think just moving on from what Harry was saying there as well, obviously you'd much rather be in that top 7 than in the bottom 7 when you're looking over your shoulder going into a huge cluster of games. There's obviously been very, very busy in the last few weeks with league matches, the EFL Trophy game here against Ipswich and whatever. But to go into that big cluster of games that's always there over Christmas, you'd rather be in the top 7 sort of looking upwards, wouldn't you, than in the bottom 7 looking over your shoulder thinking, well, a couple of wins for teams, but I'm playing sides that are well above you in the table. At the moment, I think teams are wary of coming here because they know what the home form is like.
And so we've got to move on for time, but John Mellish has scored most of Carlisle's goals. I think he's got 9 in all competitions, 7 in the league already.
Yeah.
Whereas we've seemed to have, so Max Waters isn't playing today, but you're sitting there going, well, Nichols has already got 5 or 6, Naderson's in the side. You feel like we've got plenty of goals. Do you think that today, if we can stop Mellish playing and scoring, that we should have a comfortable afternoon?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I don't think you can just concentrate on the one player. They've obviously got goals all around the side as well, just like Crawley have. But I think Hesketh coming back into the side today, I think is a big plus, coming back from suspension, because even their media guys, because he hadn't played the last 4 games, they hadn't included him as potentially being part of the squad. I think there's a few, I don't like to use the term raised eyebrows because we know how John gets about that. The fact that Max Waters isn't in the starting lineup today, win player of the season, player of the month, what he got yesterday, dropped out the side today. But I think their media guys were saying to me that their manager is potentially saying that Crawley have got the best strike force in League Two. And I think we saw that last week at Harrogate. Nichols, Naderson and Waters all on the pitch from the start was a lethal combination. And really, last week I think the game should have been out of sight by half time. If they could take those chances that are coming along, then, absolutely no problem at all. But I think going back to your thing, Joe, about Mellish, we can't just concentrate on the one person. They've brought in 2 extra people today to play up front. They'll play a 4-3-3 formation, maybe Alessandra just behind the front 2. But we can't rest on our laurels. It's good to see the back 4 is completely unchanged. Joe McNerney back in last week for Jordan Tunnicliffe. Not an issue whatsoever. I spoke to Joe after the game. I've known Joe for a long time from when he was at Woking and I was covering there. If you're going to bring in a centre-half to cover for a first-choice centre-half, I don't think there's anybody better to come in than Joe McNerney. And a great defensive record to protect down here as well. Not just the wins that we're not winning games 4-3, 5-4, 6-5. Who knows? Winning games down here with clean sheets. I think we've only conceded 2 goals all season, one against Southend and one against Cambridge.
And Glenn in goal today.
Yeah,
exactly.
Which would be great.
Glenn coming back in goal. Stuart Nelson I thought did admirably in the games that he's had to come in and play. But if you're going to bring somebody off the bench, who better than to bring the cat back in goal?
Fantastic. I feel like we could sit here for at least another 20 minutes having a chat, but we have got to crack on. You've got to get back on the radio. We've got a Reds rollover draw to do. Before we do the Reds rollover draw, we've started a new series of Mastermind in the week. Let's have a look how Erdem Konya got on in the first edition.
Hello and welcome to the People's Pension Stadium for Kiosk Ken's version of Mastermind. Our 5th contestant is name?
Erdem Konya.
Age?
35.
Specialist subject?
Arsenal.
Question 1. Who was Arsenal's top scorer in the 2001-2 season?
Thierry Henry.
Correct. In 1997, which Frenchman was Arsene Wenger's first signing?
Gilles Grimandi.
Incorrect. Nicolas Anelka. In 1996, who did Arsene Wenger replace as Arsenal manager?
Bruce Rioch.
Correct. Who scored Arsenal's first goal at the Emirates Stadium in 2006?
Gallas.
Incorrect. Gilberto. In what year did Arsenal make the UEFA Cup final?
2008.
1999-2000. Incorrect. Who beat Arsenal in the 2005-06 Champions League final?
Barcelona.
Correct. How many FA Cups did Arsenal win between 1995 and 2006?
5.
Incorrect. 4. Where did Arsenal secure the 2001-2 Premier League title?
Old Trafford.
Correct. The next contestant is Erdem Konya. He got 4 questions right on the Arsenal's history, and these are your questions on general football knowledge.
Let's have it.
Who became England's youngest ever senior footballer in 2006?
Theo Walcott.
Correct. Who is Real Madrid's all-time top goal scorer?
Ronaldo. Cristiano.
Correct. Who was captain of the England team when they won the 1966 World Cup?
Bobby Charlton.
Incorrect. Bobby Moore. What nationality is Zlatan Ibrahimovic?
Swedish.
Correct. What is Joe Hart's first real name?
Leslie.
It's correct. Incorrect. Charles. The Crazy Gang was a nickname used during
Wimbledon.
the 80s and 90s in reference to which football
AFC
club?
Wimbledon.
Correct. In 2004, the biggest club sponsorship in the history of English football occurred between which football club and company?
Manchester United and AIG.
That was Arsenal and Emirates. What did Maradona's famous goal, which occurred 51 minutes
Hand of God.
into became known as the Hand of God? Correct. You've been watching Kiosk Ken's edition of Mastermind. Tune in the next show for the next contestant. Get in there!
Well, I'm joined now by CTSA Chair Sam Jordan. We're going to bring you the Reds rollover draw nice and quickly because we're running out of time. Players just heading in. Harry's going to do the draw. It's like the FA Cup, Harry. You've got to do it all for social distancing purposes.
First one out is number 27.
Number 27.
Okay, so the first prize this month goes to Jay McWaters, £63. Jay McWaters.
There you go, Big Jay, well done.
And 33.
33, so that's second prize of £31.50 to P. Vincent.
Now we're on to number 18.
Number 18, so that's the third prize. That goes to Steve Leake. So third prize is a couple of tickets in the executive area.
Oh, gold dust.
14.
14. Wow, so that's me.
Oh, fix!
It's a bit warm.
What have you won, Sam?
A bit of signed memorabilia.
Oh, congratulations. Yeah, it's going to be a signed talk of the town shirt. Yeah. Right, let's move on to higher or lower. This week, Harry Maynard is going to present higher or lower. Me and Sam are going to take part. That's fine.
My God, it's higher or lower with talk of the town.
Right, Harry, you've got 7 minutes. Let's do
we'll
this.
rattle through these very quickly. Sam, we're going to go to you first for this first question, okay? So, Carlisle face many a long away trip every season. This year, their two longest away games are when they travel to Exeter and when they travel here to Crawley. From Brunton Park to Exeter's St James's Park, it's 347 miles. But is the number of miles higher or lower for them to travel to Crawley?
Are we both doing it? Or just Sam?
Oh yeah, both do it. Sam can reveal first. He's gone lower, and
I've also gone lower.
Lower. I'm afraid to say it's higher. It's 351 miles. It's their longest away trip of the season. Question 2. Crawley can go into the playoffs, as we spoke about today, with a win today for good first few months of the season. We're also one of the highest scoring teams in the division, but have we scored a higher or lower amount of goals than the league leaders Newport County? go with Joe first.
I think it's lower. I think they've got 19.
19. And Sam, higher. Joe is spot on. It's lower. We've scored 18 and Newport have scored 19.
He doesn't just turn up to do this show, he does his research.
Right, let's take it back in time a little bit. Jimmy Glass was the hero for Carlisle in 1999 as the goalkeeper scored in injury time to prevent them from relegation out of the Football League. But did Glass make a higher or lower amount of appearances than he did for Carlisle when he played for Crawley when he signed for the Reds in 2001? Which way around did I say that? Higher or lower for Crawley or Carlisle?
Higher or lower for Carlisle?
For Carlisle. Sam's gone lower.
I've also gone lower. I think he was on loan at Carlisle.
He was. So he only played 3 times for Carlisle, whereas he played 17 for the Reds. It's 2-1. Question 3. The Reds are unbeaten in their last 14 home matches. But in our conference winning season of 2010-11, did we go unbeaten at home in the league for a higher or lower amount of games? So 14 so far this season. In 2010-11, did we beat that? Was it higher or lower? Sam? Higher.
I've gone lower.
Lower. It's actually 1 game in it. It's higher.
Oh!
When we won the conference, it was 15 games unbeaten, so we can match that today.
I know we lost on the opening day, didn't we?
Yeah. Without a loss. So it's 2-2.
Oh, Desmond.
Right. At 41 years of age, Danny Bullman is the oldest outfield player currently playing in the league. But is that a higher or lower age than Carlisle's oldest ever League 2 player when Paul Simpson last played for them in 2006? Joe first this time?
I've gone higher.
Higher. Lower.
Ooh.
I can say it's higher. Simpson was 39. 3-2 win.
Is it all over?
3-2 win.
Oh, I've sold it at the death. Right, we've got a couple of minutes. Sam, I just want to ask you a couple of little things. Obviously, I know the CTSA are quite involved with the football supporters. Sort of
FSA?
FSA, yeah. The Football Supporters Association, isn't it? There's a big thing about let fans in. What's their stance on it? And what's the sort of the CTSA stance? What are they looking at?
So there's 2 things the FSA are after most at the moment. Is 1, allowing fans to have a say in how clubs are run. And there's a lot of talk with the government at the moment trying to get that into place. And there's also the let the fans in. The FSA obviously are very aware, as the CTSA are, that more importantly want to get through this pandemic safely before we start letting fans in. I'm sure I talk for every Crawley fan saying we'd love to have a vaccine in April and then be able to go to Wembley in May, playoff final. But yeah, so that's the biggest thing at the moment is getting supporters to have a say with their club. We're really lucky because obviously before the pandemic we'd have regular conversations with Erdem and Kelly before Erdem, so we're really lucky from that point of view. But that's the main thing they're looking at as well, and obviously letting fans in. Obviously there's been a lot of pilots.
Are they backing the campaign to let fans in, or are they sort of standing?
Oh no, 100% they are. Yeah, because obviously there's been some successful pilots that they think some fans should be allowed in, and obviously because of the finances of the club. I think there's a fine line at the moment, isn't there, around the safety element for everyone, and also the financial element for the clubs as well. So there's getting that balance right, but they definitely want to get fans in as soon as possible.
The other thing, 30 seconds, we'll run out of time. I just want to ask you about the little pitch for the Reds rollover. I know that money, obviously there's prizes to be won, but also it supports the club, isn't it? What sort of things does it help the club with?
Yeah, so it's £5 a month, and 45% of the money goes to the club from the profits, so and the others go to the people who obviously enter the rollover. So yeah, it's great. Every penny goes to the club or comes back to the people who are in the rollover. So it's really important that we do that to support the club. Got 42 members at the moment. We'd obviously like to get over 100. So yeah, if people can do that, that'd be fantastic.
Fantastic. Sam, thank you for joining us.
No
Go onto the CTSA website. Get involved. You have to download a form.
Yeah, fill it out, send it back to us.
Fill it out, send it out. Get involved in the Res Roller. Just £5 a month, but that money does help support the club. My thanks to Sam and all our guests on the show. My thanks to Harry.
Cheers, Joe. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Such enthusiasm. Yeah, really good having you on the show, and hopefully we can do it more often.
We'll go again.
Oh, we'll do this again, shall we? It's like a first date. I think it's gone well. We'll stay in touch.
Great.
Thank you to you, the viewers, for watching us once again. Hope you enjoyed the show. Please do give us your feedback. Please do comment on the show. We love to hear it, and it's your feedback which we're trying to use to lead the show going forward. Game kicks off over my shoulder in about 6 minutes time. Flick over to the iFollow now. Enjoy the game. Come on, you Reds! today's show. If you enjoyed it as much as we did, you need to subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit that bell icon so you can be notified about when we are next live here from Talk of the Town. Make sure you don't ever miss an episode, subscribe, hit the bell, and we will see you again very soon.